Hey guys, what's up? This is Tom Burkhart from Car Revs Daily, here with the 2018 Volkswagen Passat SE with technology. Passat was fresh for the 2017 model year with a new nose, new tail, and some refinements in the cabin. All right, 2018 VW Passat. This Passat SE with technology package is in the middle of the range, and driving this car every time, I really realized that it's one of my favorites in the mid-size sedan category for being so huge and so credibly premium. So let's touch on which Passat this is in particular, and some of the pricing, and then we'll talk about what's good and what could be better around the twisty handling loop down here in Charleston, South Carolina. Hang on tight. I'm going to put the camera facing forward. All right, trying something new with the point of view mounted head cam. This new GoPro 6. Let's see if we're pointed the right way. I think so. Tilt you down a little bit, maybe. Okay, so out on the handling loop with this 2018 Passat, what do we know about this new American-built and American-optimized Passat? Well, for the first part is that it's huge and it's really pretty affordable. So that still continues for this latest mid-cycle refresh. But what you might not know is that Passat also it drives really, really nicely. It drives really well. It doesn't have any of that sort of like dead fish feeling of some of like the base Accords and Fusions or Malibu or Altima for that matter. So really it drives very, very nicely and very European in how nicely buckled down the suspension feels, and how well it does at high speeds. So around town, I've been obviously like pretty pleased with the car, especially because this base 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder has so much more enthusiasm than the base 4-bangers in most other mid-size sedans. So I've got it in its sportiest drive mode, which is actually just there's D and then there's S down here. I'm not sure if you can see that. And then of course we can go over into manumatic mode. How do I do that? Okay, so from D I can go there and downshift via the gear lever, but there are no shift paddles in this car. But I've just been leaving it in S, and it's not too annoying in terms of how it drives, and it just makes the car kick down a lot faster and feel a lot more enthusiastic, which is really good. That's one of the main Passat things that I like about it, is that instead of like 8.5 to 9 seconds as the 0 to 60 sprint, like most of the mid-sized cars on the road with 4 cylinders, Passat is about 7.5. So it's quicker. It's genuinely quicker than a lot of other cars in its segment, and for that reason, it's a little bit satisfying to drive, even as just a humdrum mainstream people pleaser. It is a very good machine to drive. So that's proving itself out here on the handling loop, and try to prove it on video. Okay, so where does Passat come in with pricing? So it's priced from $22,000, and there are 5, I believe, trim levels, with the 4-cylinder, the 2-liter turbocharged 4, making 174 horsepower, 184 foot-pounds of torque. I believe all with the 6-speed Eisen automatic transmission with a torque converter, like a real automatic, and then there are 3 trims for 2018 with the V6, or I guess maybe only 2 trims. So the 4-cylinder trims are S, SE. Oh, there's another little Passat. S, SE, the SE with technology, which is what we're in now. So we have like a moonroof, electroluminescent auto dimming mirror with frameless edge there, and navigation, as well as CarPlay, and lots of other goodies like heated seats front and rear, more USBs than ever before, one up here, and charge port in the armrest, and then a USB charger for the back seats, and standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So that's really good. And then from above the SE with technology, you get the SEL, and then above that you can have the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with front-wheel drive as the R-Line model. So that has like a special body kit, firmer suspension, better brakes, bigger wheels and tires, and an overall sort of performance mood. So that's that R-Line, like when I first looked that up, I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird that the R-Line doesn't come with the really nice 280 horsepower 3.6 liter V6 that is available in the Passat SEL V6. But Volkswagen has kind of fixed that for 2018 and launched the Passat GT. So the Passat GT uses the big V6 and a DSG automatic instead of the 6-speed torque converter unit, and so that is nice to have available. But the vast majority of people, as you probably know, when they're buying these mid-size sedans, are getting the base motor. I mean, like, in terms of vast majority, I'm talking like 80, 90, 95%. Big puddle here. So almost everybody is getting the base motors. So it's really not super fair to compare this with like Camry V6 or something like that, because, you know, all these buyers are just getting the 4-cylinder. So with the engine they actually end up with, Passat becomes a real standout in the segment because it does so many things nicely. It actually has like a little bit of credibility and performance to its name in terms of its raw acceleration, and then steering, brake feel, and overall inputs, as well as directional stability and body control are very European, as you'd imagine. So that's really good. Definitely sets it apart. My top mid-size sedans that I like to recommend to people: Subaru Legacy, really soft ride, a huge cabin. Mazda 6, like way more premium than its pricing would suggest, but both of those cars have sort of like lousy powertrains. Forgive me for saying that, Mazda and Subaru, but they're a little bit lousier than you might expect. Also, parking sensors on this car, and self park, or park pilot assist or something. So that's good. So the Subaru has the base 4-cylinder has the CVT automatic, which is just like really difficult to live with, and then the Mazda 6 has the same transmission but a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that's like really anemic and does not have much power. So even though I love those cars for what they offer to owners, I don't think I would personally want to drive one every day. Whereas like if they just said like, okay Tom, you can keep that Passat forever, I mean, I would be pretty happy. It's like, it's very good to drive, and fairly rewarding and satisfying. And that definitely sets it apart versus versus those sort of dead fish handling rivals that are definitely out there. But there aren't many downsides. I mean, cabin is still really quiet in Passat. The body control is good, but ride quality is also pretty good. Independent rear suspension versus the solid rear axle on most Jettas, apart from the GLI, makes a big difference and allows this Passat to nicely breathe over bumps and through corners. And then this electronically assisted rack and pinion power steering is pretty good. I mean, it's just generally like, it's a pretty good drive versus some rivals. So that's what Passat does really well. In addition to its huge back seat and its and nice sort of like Euro luxury assembly quality and materials and refinement. So all good. So there are some like weird things with Passat that I'm sure can be solved by adding more option packages, but this SE with technology with the 18-inch wheels is pretty loaded. This is a pretty loaded car, so I'm surprised about the inclusion of like this frameless auto dimming mirror, for example, and as well as like blind spot, cruise control, front assist, rear automatic braking, and lots of other safety goodies. What this car does not have is heated outside mirrors, which is so weird. For somebody in the Midwest, I mean, that's like a must, or like anywhere that gets snow. I mean, I guess you could just reach your arm out the window and brush off the ice, but it's really a bizarre thing that it does not include that. When it does include these like great stuff like CarPlay and even remote start on this SE with technology, as well as like proximity door locks, push button start, and lots of other feature-rich elements. So it's kind of weird that it doesn't have that. And then there's some other stuff that is like a little bit, you can tell that VW was really trying to keep the price down in this vehicle. So one of those places is like the power seats on the driver's side has four-way lumbar and power recline and all that, but it does not have really a very big range of adjustment for like up and down, and the front of the seat base you can't really adjust. And then again, the steering column is manual so manual tilt telescope, and you can get it really far in. I don't know if you can see that, really far in, but like in terms of coming out, I wish it came out just like maybe 3 or 4 inches farther. And that is a place where Hyundai Sonata does one up this Passat. One of the rare few places that Sonata meets this vehicle. But otherwise, I really do enjoy Passat. I like driving it. I like some of these interior finishes. It's not like a gaudy sort of like a gaudy fake wood. I mean, this is probably fake wood, but it's not too shiny. And then there's nice sort of metallic accents in a nice classy way. And then of course, everything sort of has a nice button operation feel. Like everything feels pretty high quality, which is great, which really sets Passat apart from those sort of commodity mid-size sedans like base Camry or a base Accord, which are better than ever, but they you try as they might, they're not Euro tight like this Passat. So definitely enjoying the car. This one comes in with a sticker price of about $29,000 on the SE with technology, and then to get the V6, I think you're looking at about 30 or 31 for the new Passat GT. But those are good prices, and those are sticker prices. As we know, like VW has some like amazing values actually at dealerships lately, because it is as they try to recover from their Dieselgate scandal. So, you know, buyers can really take advantage of that, and you're gonna forget and forgive a lot of that stuff because of the sheer inherent goodness of this vehicle. There are some other quirks, like the navigation is like kind of lousy, and changing some settings, like changing the clock, for example, is like needlessly fiddly to do. Like it's just kind of tedious when it could be a really simple thing. But that's about it. I really like the vehicle. I think that even this like VW VTEX like synthetic leatherette is pretty like credible, but it is slippery, and it's so there's that kind of heightens the sense of little lateral support from the seating position. But like we said, overall, I mean, this is a very good machine, and one that you could drive very happily for years and years and years. All right, we'll see you next time. This is Tom Burkhardt from Car Revs Daily in the 2018 Volkswagen Passat SE with technology. Go give this car a drive. It's definitely going to surprise you with its premiumness. And of course, these LEDs outside with the technology package. I mean, if you debadge this car, this could easily be sort of Audi caliber LED head and tail lights. Great light, and then a great look on the road. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.